This is some awesome turnout. Thank you guys for all showing up today. This is a really great movement. We put this together in 1 week, and I can't be prouder of the amount of people that are here and the people who have put it on. So we're going to start off by introducing two people to represent the groups that put this on, which are March for Missoula Lives and Moms Demand Action. So first I'm going to hand it over to Miles Ludicky, who represents Fight for Missoula Lives.
Hello? All right. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to read for you guys is a little spiel written by Annie Zavitz and Molly Gibbons, who are not here today, who would like to be represented. They're other members of March of Fight for Missoula Lives, who are in D.C. right now. All right, so this is not my work. This is Annie Zavitz and Molly Gibbons. Okay, we are a student-led organization run by Molly Gibbons, Miles Ludicky, myself, Elon Westbaden, and Annie Zavitz. Unfortunately, Molly, Elon, and Annie couldn't be here today, but Molly and Annie are in D.C. representing Montana at the March for Our Lives. Fight for Missoula Lives is a platform for student activism in Missoula and the surrounding areas. Our current focus is gun control, but overall, we want students to know that they have a voice and can be active in their communities. Right now, we are mostly working with Hellgate High School students, but are looking to expand our focus to other schools in Missoula. Our main platform is Instagram, so you can find more information there at Fight for Missoula Lives. Younger students can get in contact with us through our email, website, or newsletter. We also want to address a few more things. First, to all the adults saying that the students are using walkouts and protests as an excuse to skip school and get out of class, look at us now. It's a Saturday. It's the first day of spring break for Missoula County Public Schools. We are here with the same amount of passion and concern as we have had from the beginning. We are here. We are here to stay until policies change. We are here to stay until our voices are heard. We can and will vote. We'll become representatives and cabinet members and presidents. We are already on our way. Register to vote and show the government and the world that we do not condone their complacency. We are powerful and change is already happening. A quarter of the total U.S. population is 18 years old and younger. By ignoring gun violence, especially in schools, you are ignoring a huge demographic of students who will be voting. I'd like to be clear that we are not anti-gun. We understand that, especially in Montana, guns are a large part of culture and tradition. All we are advocating for is more safety surrounding them. If you're listening and think that all we want to do is take away your gun, you're wrong. We want more extensive background checks. We want the value of our children's lives to be recognized. Likely, if you were to go through one of these background checks, you would pass and be able to keep your weapons. A life is more valuable than a weapon of war. Do not turn our classrooms into war zones, and do not normalize the death of kids. Thank you. So that was from Molly Gibbons and Annie Zavitz. I have my own little speech prepared that I'd also like to give. So this is my right. Okay. I'd like to first start with a question. Am I next? No. Are my peers next? No. I'm now worried during fire alarms. I'm worried that I'm going to get shot exiting the school building. There are people who are worried about coming to this protest today because anyone crazy enough to do anything can legally obtain a gun. So I want to know if my school is next. If the country stays as is, then it very well could be. The idea that this could never be us is false. That notion is gone when every community expresses it after a shooting. On Tuesday this Tuesday, there was another school shooting at Great Mills High in Maryland. And I asked our politicians, how many more school shootings do we need before change? How many more kids need to be murdered in their schools before politicians do something? How many more Parklands, Las Vegases, Sandy Hooks? Enough is enough. In 1994, Congress banned assault weapons because of mass shootings. It was a 10-year ban, and it drastically curbed the amount of mass shootings. This little piece of gun legislation isn't impossible. We've done it before. We are told that now is never the right time. Just give your thoughts and prayers, and not right now. But thoughts and prayers don't prevent the next inevitable shooting. Now is the time for change. Enough is enough. We are told that this is a mental health problem. If this is a mental health problem, then why did our president repeal an Obama-era gun regulation, those mentally ill who are deemed unable to manage their own finances, but are now able to own a firearm? If this is a mental health problem, then why does the U.S. have astronomically more gun deaths than every other developed country, with some being close to the ratio of the amount of mentally ill the U.S. has? The difference is the amount of gun regulation. This isn't a bipartisan issue, this is a corruption issue. %93 of Americans support universal background checks. Yet we still don't have legislation for it. The NRA buys our country's politicians and has them vote to increase their profits and to continue the lack of background checks and to keep AR-15s legal and to ultimately perpetuate the murder in our schools. To all of my peers and all the other students who came out here today, we are the next generation of this nation. We will be running the country. And if politicians are so corrupt to take NRA blood money and perpetuate these shootings, then they will not be our politicians. We will vote them out. We are citizens who have not yet been taught to not call out politicians' hypocrisy and corruption. We will write and we will vote, and we will stop the mass killings in our schools ravaging this country. I want to thank everyone for attending today, and I want to recognize the students who are out here with me today. Can we get a round of applause? It's amazing that we're taking part in this country's politics. We have a voice, and it's going to be heard. This is what democracy looks like. And thank you everyone else who's out here today, showing support and being amazing. If we want change, though, then we have to work for it, today and tomorrow. This protest is working for it. Voting people in and out of office is working for it. And writing to representatives is working for it. This is what democracy looks like. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miles. Next, we're going to have Nancy J. Pastino representing Moms Demand Action.
Bring it down slightly. Hey guys, thank you so much. This is an incredible, incredible sight for me to see. I cannot even tell you. My name is Nancy J. Pastino, and a little over 5 years ago, I started the Montana chapter of Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America because I was broken. I was broken by the Sandy Hook shooting. And that is the point. As a mom, I said enough. And so, little by little, slowly but surely, but with great determination, we built a movement here in Montana. And I don't know if you guys know about what Moms Demand Action has done in Montana, but we have done so much. We have defeated every single dangerous bill that the gun lobby has put forth in the Montana legislature in 2017. That was a lot of bills, too. And the things that I'm most proud of is that we kept guns off of Montana's college campuses. And in 2017, we kept guns out of Montana's K through 12 schools. But all that 5 years of very hard work, incredible work, was all holding the line. We were just holding the line. We were trying to keep Montana's already weak gun laws in place and trying to prevent the gun lobby from dismantling them even further. Okay, so we don't want to just hold the line, do we? No. We want to make progress. And my friends, that is why I'm running for office now. I'm running to represent my community in House District 91 because I want to make progress. I know that we can, and we need to in order to end gun violence. We need background checks on all gun sales. We need to keep guns out of the hands of domestic abusers. And we want a red flag law so that people who are a serious threat to themselves or others, we can have local law enforcement hold their guns for them while that threat is real. We have the second highest rate of suicide in Montana, and most of those are by gun. This red flag law would help that. And you know what? Florida passed this law after the Parkland shooting. Are we going to wait for the next mass shooting, tragic shooting in Montana before we do something? So here's where you come in, my friends. I need you all to register to vote. Okay? If we're going to change gun laws, we need to change Congress, and we need to change our state legislatures. You can register to vote right now by texting the word FIGHT to 788-683. Again, that's FIGHT to 788-683. March for Our Lives has teamed up with our friends at Rock the Vote to make that happen, so you can make sure that you're registered, because the primary on June 5th is going to be very important, and then the general election on November 8th. So if you're going to be 18 in November, please register to vote. And educate yourselves. Kids, you guys are really good at this, okay? Educate yourselves. Find out where candidates stand. And find out maybe where they stood before the Parkland shooting, too, because a lot of people have changed their tune. But not only where they stand on gun violence, but what they plan to do about it. What are they going to do? And if you don't like what you see about a candidate or a sitting legislator, throw them out. A word to the students today. I am so proud of you. I am behind you 1,000%. And what you've done since the Parkland shooting to demonstrate, to speak truth to bullshit, and to use your voices. Honestly, it makes my heart swell with admiration and the pride for you. And I want you to keep going, but I want to talk to the adults for a second here, too. We are not off the hook because our students have been so incredible in making this change, okay? What they are saying is that they need us. We all need to be in this fight together. We must do everything that we can to protect our students. We have put the onus on our students and our teachers for far too long to protect themselves in their schools from a gunman at their classroom door when our legislators won't stand up to the gun lobby. So it takes all of us, my friends, and I promise you I will fight this fight until we don't need to fight it anymore, and I am so proud to march with you all today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nancy. We've just introduced Moms Demand Action and Fight for Missoula Lives. However, this is not just a problem for parents, it's not just a problem for adults and students, but for younger students as well. So here coming to speak is Salome Daniel. One second.
Hi, my name is Salome Daniel, and I'm in 5th grade at Paxton Elementary. When I was in 1st grade, we had a lockdown in our school. Most kids thought it was a drill, but then our teacher told us it wasn't. A few of my classmates began to cry. I felt really scared. We huddled quietly in a corner for what seemed like hours. We were later informed that there had been a man in Taco Bell who had a gun. Since then, we've had many more lockdown drills, so we now know what to do if a gunman comes into our school. I also helped organize a walkout at our school. We had at least 50 people that participated, and afterwards my classmate told me that after that movement she felt really powerful and proud. We walked out because adults haven't been taking a stand. Us kids feel that we need to start making our voices heard so adults realize that there needs to be change. Lawmakers need to listen. We want to feel safe when we go to school. Part of why we feel unsafe is that it's too easy to get access to guns. Gun sellers shouldn't sell anyone a fully automatic weapon. People won't use it for anything but to kill someone. I believe it's time for change.
Thank you, Salome. We really appreciate you coming out to speak. Next is Micah Cantor out there. We'd like to have Micah speak. Thank you, Micah.
Hello, my name is Micah and I am in 3rd grade at Lewis and Clark Elementary. I care about gun reform because people are getting killed and injured. I worry that other students and teachers will get shot at school. I think most kids should know about issues like this because then they can do something to help. I don't think all guns should be banned, only semi-automatic guns. I also think everyone should have to do the background check to buy a gun. I think people should support each other to end gun violence. Thank you.
This is an issue, like I said, that's for our students, for our adults, and for our parents. So now representing a student from Hellgate High School, sophomore, is Zia Quetzel.
There hasn't been one November where I haven't heard Dad shot a deer yesterday on a random mountain, or of how he and his friend got an antelope or two out on the Matador Ranch. Hunting has always been a major part of my life, and as a result, it's easy for me to come away with the understanding of the want and need for rifles. For many Americans, hunting is a necessity and a way of life, letting families provide ethically harvested food for countless dinners throughout the year. These rifles are indeed tools, and some could go so far as to say it's a part of one's culture, including mine as I live my life out in rural Montana. However, the difference is distinguishable from the need of a rifle that provides for a family and a semi-automatic rifle which is made for nothing but murder. So I, for one, am not advocating for the ban of all guns, but I strongly oppose the crafting and selling of AR-17s and semi-automatic weapons to civilians in America. Maybe some of you partially agree or don't agree with me on this matter, but in order to resolve this ongoing issue, we must first have compassion for those involved in these school shootings and realize that the answer to this problem isn't going to come easy, but it must come fast to help ease the pain of these victims around our nation and reassure them that we will keep our promise to change. Ultimately, we must understand that the solution may not completely appeal to our individual ideals. It might not be my solution or even yours, but it might be a combination of the two. This problem is multifaceted with many possible solutions to consider, and it all starts with discussion. However, an even more important factor is the willingness to listen to all points of view, no matter how different or incorrect you may believe them to be. The reason we are here protesting is for the sole purpose to do right by those 2,700 children and teens shot and killed each year as a result of these weapons falling into the hands of underage civilians. So let's not begin this march by finding someone to argue with. We must learn to fight our internal battles against opposing views and find as much common ground as possible. We must stand united and keep in mind that any reform reducing the ghastly amount of kids shot and killed each month is a step in the right direction. Today, as we march, remember those involved in these despicable acts against humanity, and picture the faces of teens who do not make the headlines, those being Black and brown children and teens who are impacted by gun violence daily. Let's march. Let's march for the students who deserve nothing short of the right to feel secure in a school environment and to focus on nothing but their future, and consequently our nation's future. Thank you.
We're going to have one more speaker before we get into March, and that's Maggie Gibbons, the sister of Mallory Gibbons, who is currently in D.C.
Hi, I'm Maggie Gibbons, like Matthew was saying, and I'm a sophomore at Hellgate. And I'd like to start today by bringing up a memory I'm sure we can all relate to, or at least one similar to it. So, just picture this. You're 9 years old. You're on your way to school, where you'll be learning addition and playing tag at recess with your friends. You try to pay attention to what your teacher is saying, but all you can think about is getting home and drinking a juice box with your friends. You wonder when the next episode on Disney Channel airs as you run barefoot in the grass. You can't wait for the weekends, when you can go to the park with your siblings. Life is simple, until it's not. What's happening right now in our country is nothing short of a catastrophe. Young kids and high schoolers go to school, a place supposedly dedicated to education, and never come back. Gun violence is a fatal epidemic, and it's simply not fair that children must bear the consequences of lax gun laws made by adults in Washington. At our ages, we should not be concerned about the simple act of surviving, especially not in schools. It's heartbreaking that we even need to march about this. We are entitled to safety and security, and it's no longer an option to avoid the uncomfortable topic of gun control. Kids are dying, and the only way to prevent more mass shootings is gun control. We are in desperate need of gun control, and we need it now. It's not enough to give kids clear backpacks and send them on their way. We are here right now saying enough is enough. We as young people are the future, and no matter how much resistance we see from Washington and the NRA, we can and will prevail as long as we have persistence. We must keep showing up and speaking out. We cannot stop until gun reforms are made and children are safe again. No more AKs, no more ARs, and no more innocent lives taken. Enough is enough.
Thank you to all of our wonderful speakers. We will now begin to march. That's why we're here after all. So what we're going to do is go down Higgins, and we're going to have to be especially attentive to traffic laws because we do not have a license to march. So stay on the streets, no going into the roads, follow the traffic lights. We have designated volunteers who will direct you to Karis Park. So we're going to be heading to Karis Park. So head down the far side of Higgins and then go down. So this is our march and our chance to prove our importance and strength. Together, we'll make our voices heard and our movement heard across the country. Today, we march not only with those around us, but with those across the country. Through our voices, our actions, and eventually our votes, we can and we will bring about real change in our community, in our state, and our country. So get out there and march. going on, we have a few speakers here, some really awesome people who have come out to talk to you guys today. So we're going to start with Madison Plowts.
Hello, it's so great to be here today. I just want to say thanks. I've been so proud to be part of this march. I'm so proud to follow all these speeches. They're amazing. I'll just get started. My name is Madison Blank Plouts, and I'm born and raised in Montana, and I'm currently a senior at Hellgate High School. Both of my parents are teachers, and every day my family and I go to school. This dynamic has instilled a great value of education, my fellow students, and of course my teachers. Except now, every day I wonder whether I will come home, whether my sister will come home, or whether my dad or my mom will come home from school. When I hear about the next school shooting, I can't help but wonder who's next. I don't want to live in fear anymore. I decided to stand here today not to whine or complain, and not because I want to take away people's Second Amendment rights. I'm standing here for everybody's constitutional right to their own life, liberty, and property. I'm standing here because I want change. I'm here for Newtown, Connecticut, Las Vegas, San Bernardino, and Parkland, Florida, all mass shootings with AR-15s involved. I'm standing for the 438 people who've been shot in school shootings since 2012. I stand here today to end the silence. I stand here today to seek change. I'm standing here especially when in Montana there are more regulations for a driver's license than a gun. Universal background checks, waiting periods, gun registration, and licensing should all be considered routine practices rather than controversial ideas. I'm asking why lawmakers are choosing the NRA over American education and American kids. How long will lawmakers choose money and body bags over high school diplomas and lives? I'm standing and saying enough is enough. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madison. Next speaking is a close friend of mine, Dylan Dodds, who just recently spent a semester in Washington, D.C.
Hi, good morning. Thank you all for coming out to stand against gun violence in Montana and every other state in America. My name is Dylan Yance, and I'm a junior at Hellgate High School. I'd like to start by saying that I love this country. In this country, I can stand up in front of all of you and tell you what I think needs to be done about any issue that I want. In this country, we can march down the street with our signs and post photos and tell our legislators what we want. I had the unique experience of working with these legislators in the United States Senate this past fall, and I will tell you that the senators have the opportunity to change these gun laws, but have not. I saw them stay through the night and into the morning, passing important bills that affect everyone in this country, so it is truly baffling to me that they haven't done anything about gun control. But I do know why. The NRA has so much power over Congress, and so I would urge the people in this country to take that away from them. Vote for legislators that aren't funded by the NRA. Protest those that are. Let's move to get people in Congress that won't be swayed by the sick money of this organization. We can protest all day, any day. But when it comes to the time to vote in Montana, let's vote for the people that will make the changes that we need. I really wish that when I walked across my school courtyard that I felt safe. Every day when I walk from the library to second period, I stare down at those gates and think about how at any given moment someone could walk through those gates with some assault weapon and turn Hellgate into another school shooting that we hear about in the news. I wish that all students had confidence that their school is a safe place for learning and figuring out who they are, not worrying about if they will lose a best friend or favorite teacher. I wish I didn't have to stand up here because Congress should have made a move on gun control after the first shooting happened. But they haven't. So we must keep fighting this issue. As put by my favorite history teacher and one of my strongest role models, Miss Hickson, the NRA wants us to forget what happened at Parkland in February. They want us to move on. But I promise all of you that I will not forget. And I promise the NRA that I will fight against them and fight for stronger gun laws until major change happens. I call bullshit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dylan. Next, I'm going to have a speaker from Central High School speaking, Amara Whitfield.
Hi, I'm Amara Whitfield. I'm a freshman at Sentinel High School, and it's amazing how many people are here today. We're all here to make a difference. Beyond that, the reasons vary. But the common reason among all of us is to be safe at school and in public places. You want your children and grandchildren to be safe in school. I don't want to assume why anyone is here, but that seems like a good place to start. I have a question for everyone here. Are we marching for something or against something? Are we fighting for something or against something? There are supposed to be a lot of counter-protesters in Helena today, and they are definitely fighting against something. And that's why they're called counter-protesters. But what they are fighting against isn't even what we are fighting for. I'm not here to tell anybody they can't have hunting rifles locked up safely and owned by people who know how to operate them. My views about why we're here, my views are not about that are not why I'm here. I am here because students deserve to be safe in schools. Many students, including myself, can't remember a time when we didn't practice a lockdown at least once a year at school. So let's march for our lives and tell Congress that nobody needs an assault rifle and everybody needs a safe place to learn. If Congress members aren't going to make the changes that need to be made, then students will.
Thank you so much, Amara. Our next speakers are Royal Elementary School student Asher and Cora Barnes.
Hi, my name is Asher Barnes. I'm 11 years old. I'm in 5th grade at Lewis and Clark. Hi, my name is Cora Barnes. I'm 8 years old. I'm in 3rd grade at Lewis and Clark. When I was in 1st grade at Paxton Elementary, there was a shooting issue near our school. We had to go into lockdown. My 1st grade teacher closed all the blinds, locked the doors, and turned off the lights. Our class had a huddle up in the corner in the classroom until we got the clear that everything was okay. I remember feeling like it took forever. My mom remembers me coming home and asking tons of questions. When I was in 2nd grade, I had to learn how to barricade the door or where to go if there was a shooter in the school. My teacher found a friend's yard that we could go into if we needed to get away from the shooter. My teacher told us even though she's small, she's still strong. She promised to protect us. And we had to practice for the situation. I don't think we should have to worry about something like that. We should feel safe in our schools. This issue is so important because I don't want kids to be scared about school shootings. I want schools to be safe and not scared. My little sister starts kindergarten in 2 years, and I don't want her to be scared about school shootings. I don't want her to have to practice lockdowns. You should wake up and feel safe going to school. You shouldn't be thinking, what if there's a shooter today? What if we have to practice and go to jail? You should feel excited to go to school. What do you do if a shooter comes into the gym, music, or Spanish room? What if I'm in the library? What if you aren't in a classroom? What do I do then? I don't know. In second grade, after we practiced the lockdown drill, I remember thinking, what if I'm in the bathroom when a shooter comes? What do I do then? I'm a kid. I shouldn't have to worry about any of this. I think it's sad that it takes kids to walk around our country, lead marches, and start walkouts for our country to take notice. I think high school is standing up for America to notice something. Adults should have noticed this a long time ago. No offense to everybody who's here, but... We shouldn't be spending our time planning for walls to be built. We should be spending our time planning for safety in our schools. Something has to change. Flowers aren't enough. We have to keep protesting. Our country has to change. If we want the world to change, we have to work for it. I'm going to work for this. I believe gun laws need to change. Gun laws are not okay right now. People are selling guns to people without enough information. People in the military have to go through serious training to have guns. People in stores are selling guns to people without knowing their age, without knowing how their brain works, and without any training. It needs to stop. It's not okay. I'm fighting for younger kids, not to have to experience school shootings. The U.S. is going to change, and we are in front. Thank you.
Our next speaker is a graduate student from the university, Don Anthony.
Hey everyone, my name is Valen. I use he or they pronouns, and I'm happy to be here today. I believe that there's nothing more precious in this world than life. And no matter what your individual spiritual beliefs may be, the miracle of life is something that should be protected. And this country has been doing a bad job at that. If those who support the Constitution truly believe in the right to life, then we should start doing a better job of securing it, especially for our children. If a nation cannot protect its children, tell me, what are its priorities? Gun violence is one of the biggest threats to children now, and yet those in power pretend there is nothing to be done. Despite other developed nations not having this problem, whether gun control reduces violence is a research-based question. It is not a matter of ideology. We have a bad tendency in this country to conflate research-based questions with ideological ones. We need to identify which gun control laws have the greatest positive effect of reducing violence. The false dichotomy of either no guns or no gun regulations is a distraction, and it keeps us from diving into the real hard work of looking at the research that backs specific gun measures. The gun culture in America runs deep. In it, so many see freedom, see a way to feel safe, see some way to starve off the gnawing fear of knowing that someone could end their life or the lives of loved ones. And it's really scary, I know, it's really scary to live in a world like that, where others might choose to end our lives. But we have to take a hard look at what actually makes us safer, and it's not completely unrestricted access to guns. Study after study confirms that guns often escalate situations that make them more lethal. It makes domestic violence situations turn deadly, makes suicide attempts that were likely to have failed succeed. We have to take a hard look at what our frenzy for safety is costing us, and it's costing us our lives. In In the name of freedom and self-defense, we are putting barely any restrictions on people obtaining machines designed for killing. We aren't really free when we almost live in fear of the next mass shooting, and freedom has never meant no limits on one's actions. We can maintain the freedom for people who have proven themselves responsible to own a gun, and give others back the freedom to live their lives without fear of gun violence. We can gain back the freedom of sending our children to school without wondering if they will come back home. We can give parents back the freedom to stop burying their children because of some false notion of freedom. We need true freedom to live our lives fully, deeply, and without fear that they might be cut short due to lax gun laws. Of course, the problem runs deeper. Of course, our culture of violence and toxic masculinity and repression of emotions all contribute to the problem. No one's pretending that gun legislation alone can stop all of gun violence, but we have substantial evidence that the right laws can cut it down significantly. And every life saved is worth it.
Thank you, Alan. Now I'll be speaking. So, in 1911, a fire began in a Triangle Shirtwaist factory in New York City. Because of unsafe working conditions and lack of proper fire escapes, 146 workers died. As a result of this tragedy, the legislature created the Factory Investigating Committee, which suggested 60 laws and reforms that were eventually passed into law, because they were determined to prevent an event such as this from ever occurring again. In 2001, 4 planes were hijacked and crashed in a series of coordinated terrorist attacks. 3,000 were killed and 6,000 were injured. Government response was immediately and resulted in the creation of the TSA, because they were determined to prevent an event such as this from ever occurring again. In 1999, 15 were killed and 21 injured at Columbine High School in Colorado. In 2012, 28 were killed and 2 were injured in Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut. California in 2001, Minnesota in 2005, Virginia in 2007, Florida in 2018. Since Sandy Hook, more than 400 people have been shot and over 200 school shootings across the country. So why is it that we've seen so little beyond thoughts and prayers? Why is it that when our homicide rate is 25 times that of other developed nations, we don't discuss, we don't respond, and we don't act? Why is it more difficult to sneak into a rated R movie than to buy an automatic rifle in this country? We march today to show that we are discontent with recent events and lack of tangible response. More than discontent, we are fearful. Fearful for the victims of gun violence across this country. Fearful for uncertainty in legislation. Fearful that we could be next. But we cannot let fear intimidate us. Rather, we have to make it drive us. Take a look around you. These people, like you, have shown up today to show that we are ready. Ready for real, tangible change. We're not going to wait for it. No, instead of waiting for it to happen, we've shown that we have the people, the enthusiasm, and most importantly, the motivation to do it ourselves. We cannot and we will not give up until we live in a country we feel safe in. We'll continue to discuss, we'll continue to protest, and we will continue to vote legislators that truly represent us and our movement. Together, we will prompt change in our community, in our state, and in our country. Never stop fighting for progress. Make your voices heard. Thank you so much for coming out today. I really appreciate each and every one of you. But if you look around, our team will set up around you to register, to vote, to get involved in more activities like this, and use the hashtag #FightForMissoula Lives to get involved in more events such as this. Thank you.